Nail tips is one of the oldest and traditional ways to do nail extensions. I used tips for 2 years when I started doing nails, and then I switched to forms. I just received so many new nail goodies from Saviland, which includes acrylic kit, a kit for cuticle removal, new nail drill, and another kit that includes tips. Even though I don't use them as much now, I really want to try them because these are different kind of tips. And also, I'm not going to use glue to apply them on the nail. Instead, I will use a special gel. It will be my first time trying this technique, so I'm super excited and let's do it together.
Hello guys, this is Anastasia. I've been using Saviland brand for quite a while. I love their products and never tried nail drill by this brand, so this is going to be my first. I love light green color. This is one of my favorite colors, by the way. I never think light green e-file, I think. Handpiece has such a nice color too. It's light green chrome. This is a portable, rechargeable nail drill, which means you simply need to plug in this one, USB Type-C, and a regular USB, and that's it. Once it's charged, you can just work using your battery. Let's do the fun part of the unpacking. All right. Once you turn it on, you can see the speed and the direction of rotation. So F means forward, and then you simply need to push this button and it switches to reverse. So this is how you can adjust the speed. To turn it off, simply click on this button. And by clicking on this one with the battery icon, you can tell how much battery you have left. This kit also includes a set of diamond beads as well as mandrel with replaceable sandbands and another additional pack of sandbands. We also have this ceramic bead with red abrasive mark. This one is going to work for gel polish removal, and one more kit with stone and soft drill bits and additional diamond one. Plus we have a cute pink brush to remove the dust after you're done with filing and shaping.
This is my client for today. She has beautiful long nail beds. Her nails are slightly peeling on the free edge. I guess this is because of the previous product removal. And she has some leftovers of the red nail polish, which was almost impossible to remove. Then I start pushing back the cuticles with orange wood stick and realize that this is quite hard. So we will be dealing today with the challenging sticky cuticles, and I will show you how to work with them. First, I file the free edge short since we will be using tips, and then I use electric nail file. The speed is 16,000 rotations per minute, and I'm using a safety bit that doesn't have any abrasive, because all I need to do now is to slightly push back the cuticles without damaging the skin. When you have a client with this type of cuticles, it's almost impossible to push it back. You need to be gentle and also do not try to push it back too much. Our goal is simply to clean the cuticle that is on the nail plate and nothing else. And also to clean the sidewalls, because if we do not do this, we may experience product lifting. Then I switch to reverse mode and do the same on the opposite side. After that, I can use diamond flame bit to properly clean the cuticles and the sidewalls and finish up with the nail prep. I'm using about the same speed. It's from 15 to 18,000 rotations per minute, and I'm working on the left side first. I clean this area under the cuticles and along the sidewalls. By the way, this client has this kind of sticky cuticles only on a few nails. All the rest of them are a little easier to work with, so I didn't have to use this first safety nail bit on all of them. This technique with safety nail bit is quite helpful, especially for beginners. However, if you do not have much experience when doing nail prep and cuticle care with electric nail file, I recommend you to use it first for fills or product removal. Then I'm going to take off the surface shine using 180 grit buffer. Make sure that the surface of the nail is matte and you do not have any shiny spots left. Besides this method, there is a different way to do cuticle removal, and you can use a special cuticle removal kit. This is not the only goodie that I received from Saviland, this e-file kit. I also have some more. So let's unpack cuticle removal kit and try it on another hand.
Cuticle remover kit. Oh wow, we have cuticle remover itself, which is used to soften and then remove the cuticles. I like the package, so you can just use this noose for comfortable application on the cuticles. It also includes large volume 30 milliliters of cuticle oil, 2 files and cuticle nippers, pusher, and this scary tool for removing cuticle. But since we have cuticle remover, I don't really think we're going to need this one.
You can use cuticle remover for any cuticle types except for the damaged ones. This one is perfect because it's impossible to push it back. You need to apply cuticle remover on top. I like the gel consistency, it's not falling off or getting anywhere. Wait for 5 to 7 minutes, then clean it with a lint-free wipe. Make sure that you do not have any leftovers of the product, and then try to push it back again. Now we can see that this cuticle that was on the nail plate can be easily pushed back. This is awesome because, as you can see, it wasn't possible to do it without remover. We would have definitely damaged the cuticle without it. You can use a cuticle remover and then continue prep with a hand file, or you can also combine this method with electric nail file again. I decided to use a soft stone bead because we still have some leftovers of the nail plate. I think I should have waited a little longer, maybe 2 more minutes. If you have the same problem, you can also add remover again and wait for 2 additional minutes. If you are going to do nail extensions or gel polish overlay afterwards, it's super important to not leave any leftovers of the cuticle remover, and the best way to clean it is simply to ask your client to wash their hands with a soap. And the prep is almost finished. I don't think that I need to trim the cuticles right here because we don't really have much. I'm just going to file the free edge short, and then we need to do nail extensions. And to do this, let's unpack another product from Saviland.
Professional nail art kit. What's inside here? Ooh, a big bag of tips and something else. We have extra long C-curve half cover nail tips. So those are not soft gel tips, not the ones that you apply on the entire nail. These are half cover, and I really like that they have this deep C-curve and they're also square shaped. We have 500 pieces in this bag. We also have small UV LED nail lamp in this kit. I believe this is the small one. Yes, I already had one in a different kit. It works with USB, so you can even use it with a power bank. 2 small nail files, tip cutter, and 6-in-1 nail extend glue gel. I already tried 4-in-1 gel by Saviland for soft gel tips, and it's awesome. So I'm really curious what 6-in-1 is going to work like. It has thick consistency, which is really nice because once you apply the tips, you don't really want this thin runny consistency.
When choosing the tip, it is so important to pick the correct size. If you're doubting, it is better to pick the one that is slightly bigger because you can always fix it with a file by filing the sidewalls. But if you pick the one that's too small, there's no way you can fix it. Then we apply dehydrator and non-acid primer on the natural nail plate. Now it's time to apply the tips, and honestly, I feel quite nervous because with the glue, it was all clear. You just apply the glue, you apply it on the tip, you wait, and that's it. But here I also need to cure it, and surprisingly it was so easy I didn't even need to use the help of my client. I did it all with the opposite hand because this gel is quite thick. So once I apply it on the nail, I move it. I make sure that we do not have any bubbles in between the nail and the tips, and this is it. It was quite fast. I just realized how long these nail tips are, and even though we thought of doing long nails, these seem like extremely long. So we are trimming like a half of them, and we are going to have a beautiful curved square shape. Then I'm going to take off the sticky layer from this part because we do have some gel that's looking outside of the tip. So this part is going to be sticky unless you clean it with an alcohol and a lint-free wipe. Next part is filing this area between the tip and the nail, and it probably looks kind of scary because I'm using a carbide drill bit. I used to do it with a hand file and it was taking forever. You guys, I just realized that using gel when attaching tips is perfect for beginners. When you're using nail glue, there's almost nothing in between the tip and the nail. So when you're filing the tip, it's quite easy to overfile the nail along with it and damage it. But when you're using gel, and this gel was quite thick consistency, you have this slight amount of the product in between. So when I'm using a carbide bit like this, I'm touching only the tip, and sometimes I'm slightly touching this gel, but definitely not the nail. However, if you do not have experience working with electric nail file, I recommend you to do this part with a hand file. It's all the same, you just take the hand file and focus on filing only the tip, not the nail. When you apply the tip, you can see this line, this border between the tip and the nail. But after this part, you should not be able to see them. They will be like a whole piece. And finally, we need to take off the surface shine from the tip. You can use buffer, you can use hand file, it's up to you, but make sure it has abrasive of at least 180 grit. As a nail technician who used nail tips for quite a long time in the past, I have to say that I enjoyed this method. I like it much more compared to glue, and if I will be adding this in my educational programs, I would definitely recommend gel instead of glue for beginners. Let's do some nail art now, and to do this we will also need some products, so let's unpack the last one.
Acrylic nail kit. I love Saviland color acrylic powders. I work with them for more than 2 years, I believe, but I don't think I've ever tried their basic collection. This is such a great acrylic kit because normally you don't see a decent acrylic brushes included, but here we have 3 colors of acrylic powders: clear, white, and pink. We have 50 milliliters acrylic liquid, tape and dish for the monomer, 180 grit file, buffer, and also, I'm not sure how should I call this tool, it's like cuticle remover. We also have forms, 3 different sizes of acrylic brushes, number 8, 10, and 14. I think this is so nice that they included 3 acrylic brushes, because normally in acrylic kits all you see is one brush that is extremely small and it's not even possible to work with it.
When using tips, you don't really need to apply anything on them, so I will apply dehydrator and non-acid primer only on the part where we have natural nail, but if you accidentally add some on the tip, do not worry. Since we already have this beautiful square shape and clear tips, we decided that it would be fun if we do some clear, transparent spring floral design. So I'm adding some clear acrylic first, and before it cures, I'm going to add some dried flowers. We were thinking of using one color first, but then we thought it is going to be more fun if we use different colors, such as blue, purple, white, and pink, and I'm also adding some foil in between. Even though it looks like I'm just randomly adding these dried flowers, I'm also focusing on hiding the free edge of the nail. So I added some foil and flowers in that area as well, so we will not be able to see it. And finally, I seal it with a clear acrylic. I'm the person who's using all kinds of products. I work with hard gel, I work with polygel, and I always say that if you would like to get a perfect transparent glass nails, it's easier to achieve it when you're using hard gel because it's just easier to apply it without bubbles. But it seems like with this acrylic, it's possible as well. But we will see it only when we are done, when we file and shape the nails and seal them with a top coat. I also do not like filing. This is my least favorite part of the service. That's why I always take my time on product application. I make sure that I seal every flower. We do not have any product missing. When working with tips, make sure that it's all covered with acrylic or gel or any other product. You should not leave any parts with a bare tip. As I mentioned earlier, I used tips when I started working for the first 2 years because I didn't like the shape I created when I was using forms. So if your goal right now is to learn how to do flawless product application, it would definitely be much easier if you use tips, because when you apply them, you already have a shape underneath and you simply need to apply the product on top. And then when you learn how to do this, you can switch to forms or any other technique of your choice. This product is definitely slow setting, so I would also recommend it for beginners. And I picked the brush number 10 because number 8 seemed like too small for me, while number 14 was too large. So this size is just perfect for this kind of nails. I enjoyed working with Saviland acrylic. I'm definitely going to use it again. All the links to the products that I used in this video will be in the description box as usual. Now we need to file and shape it. Like I said, this is my least favorite part, so I'm going to do it super fast, not more than 10 minutes. I don't really need to file or shape the sidewalls as well as the free edge, because we already did that when we applied the tips. So I'm mostly filing the surface just to make sure that it's all smooth. And also when you're dealing with acrylic, I recommend you to slightly file the cuticle area so you will not see any visible bumps when the nail will be growing. And finally, I'm going to buff the surface. This is definitely a must-do if we are doing a transparent glass nails. If we would have applied the color on top, then you can simply skip this part. We don't really need that, but we want a flawless surface without any scratches. So I'm using a 220 grit buffer. Oh wow, they already look so transparent and we haven't even applied the top coat. I want them to be super glass transparent nails. That's why I'm applying top coat underneath on the other side of the nail first. Then you need to cure it with the palm up for 30 seconds. And finally, I will seal it from the top. And this is the final look. I do not see any bubbles. What do you think, guys? It actually seems like we just have tips without any acrylic. Let me know what you think about this nail art and how do you feel about using tips, not with the glue, but with the special gel. Thank you so much for watching. If this is your first time here on my channel, consider subscribing as I post new nail art tutorials and product reviews, just like this one every week. See you in my next one. Goodbye.